Honestly, I hate to say this, but Supergirl is sadly just mid. I'm gonna be honest, it's taken me a couple days to write this script because I don't actually know what to say about it. I mean, for start, it was a complete mess of this film, and while it's not as bad as people are saying, it's definitely not good either. I've seen people saying it's the end of the DCU now because of how bad this film is, and I'm just there like, did we really watch the same movie? I will say that there is a lot of stuff in this movie, however, that I did not like, and a very rare amount of stuff I enjoyed and liked about the film. One of the positives actually being that I think Millie does an amazing performance as Supergirl, and I think probably the best one we've gotten because she acts really well and blends her emotions into her character, which makes her performance really good. Another thing I'll say is that I did really enjoy the Superman scenes. Like the final scene where they talk, or the messages where Clark sends to Kara, and the scenes where they first meet is very nice. And it grows a nice sibling kind of bond, and the dynamic is really good between them two, which I like. The final thing which I properly liked about this film too is Kara's backstory. I thought that was done really well, besides a few confusing things like the force field does not really make much sense to me because it doesn't trap air. And it doesn't make it like stay permanent. Air doesn't stay permanent, so it was just really weird and confusing. But besides that, it was really interesting, and funnily enough, those parts actually was written by James Gunn only. And yeah, to clarify that the misinformation being spread around, James Gunn made the backstory scene and the scenes with Superman in them. Everything else that was done in Supergirl was by Craig, which was the director. So yeah, James did not really make this movie, if I'm being honest. So I don't know why people are like pounding all this hate onto him, which I genuinely don't know why, because he didn't make the movie. Yes, he was a producer, but that doesn't really mean the same thing as being a director, let's be honest. So you can't really put the hate on James here. The hate really goes to Craig. Anyway, from now on, this is going to be completely negative, I'm going to be honest, because there's just a lot of stuff I gotta say which I did not like about this film. First of all, the villain is absolute dog shit. He is so bad that his design is not even that good, and he's not even interesting, nor is he intimidating at all, and honestly just feels so forgettable. I literally had to research his name because of how forgettable he was. Another thing I'll say is that Lobo, while he was funny, he was just heavily nerfed and kind of just there and wasted. I hope we do see him more in future projects, but he didn't even do much at all in this movie, so I do actually really hope that he does like more in like the next coming DC movies, or we see him in like the next DC projects, because he did not do really fuck all in this movie besides just being there for jokes. And I will say it was a bit weird that he couldn't break past metal bars and he got locked up, when I'm pretty confident he's stated to be very strong. Matter of fact, he matches strength with Superman in the comics, and in general I feel like they also just nerfed Supergirl as well along with that. A lot of the time I guess it did kind of make sense with Supergirl because she was depressed and exposed to a red sun for years of living on Earth, but then doesn't really make sense because she should be more on task when Krypto is the only one she has left. And it's just really weird, especially with Lobo. Like, he's on par with Superman in strength, but you can't break through some bars. I just don't get that, and I'm not even surprised because every character just be getting nerfed these days. Speaking of Krypto though, the whole plot is like literally just around Krypto, and it feels extremely generic and simple. Like, if I just explain the plot in a couple words, it's literally just Krypto gets hurt at the start of the film and is gonna die. So Supergirl has to find Krem and get the cure. That's it. And it's so unbelievably simple and boring, and it actually takes down more stuff in the film too. Like, for example, the action scenes in this movie was also very generic too. I didn't feel like there was nearly as much sauce in this film with the action scenes compared to Superman. And to add on with that, the CGI was horrible in a lot of moments, especially with the finale. There was also needle drops that just did not fit in the film or match its vibe. For example, in the end, when Kara is taking out some of the main villain's members, there's a needle drop and the music is so out of touch, and the camera just shifts and stays in Ruthie's point of view instead of showing us some cool moments of Kara beating up these guys, and it just does not work well at all. And I gotta even say that Kara doesn't even really feel like a main character in this movie at times, as it focuses on Ruthie so much, and she's not even an enjoyable character in my opinion. She's just very boring and annoying a lot of the time, and I get that she has a whole revenge arc, and the idea is that revenge doesn't solve anything, and it also makes Kara change for the better and redeem herself as a person to society, but it all feels very predictable and boring with how it's handled. I don't know why, but it's like this film also tries to be like Guardians of the Galaxy coded, and I know James Gunn didn't direct this film, but that's what it tries to feel like, and I think James needs to realize that it doesn't work like that with every character, and sure, sometimes it does, but not every time. I also think that doing a Supergirl movie is not a good idea for the start of DCU, And while I'd still have faith in the DCU, definitely, I also just need to say that I feel like James Gunn is doing a stupid idea where he's focusing more on spin-offs for other anti-heroes instead that are less popular than the main heroes, that people don't care about much compared to like the main heroes. For example, I don't know why, but there's a Gorilla Grodd and Jimmy Olsen spin-off planned for some reason, and there's a Crypto spin-off too, which is just not a good idea for the DCU. We should be seeing more interesting stuff from the more popular characters in DC that comes to these movies, such as Flash, Cyborg, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, or just the main superheroes that we care about in DC. Then focus on these anti-hero movies or TV shows which will make people care, such as Supergirl, because of track record, sadly, for Supergirl, it's not looking so hot. And the movie in general, as of today, is predicted to only cost around 200 million when I'm recording this, which is actually really sad. And the thing is, I actually kind of expected it. Like I said, it's not a bad film, it's not terrible, but it's sure not good either. It's not like some horrible Marvel media. It's not like Thor Love and Thunder. It's not horrible, but it's just not really good either. It's not really all that, and it's not really all that bad either. It's just in the straight middle. It is a mess, but mid. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Supergirl a 5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.